This is a game about hats mostly. It's a game where you'll throw cards that have hats on them into hats that have cards in them with your friends who will have joy in them. But it's not all tossing and flinging cards about, although that's the fun part. You have to toss or fling the right card into the right hat and do it fast, which is the other fun part. There's actually lots of fun parts. Okay, so everybody gets their own deck of cards with their player color on the back, and the fronts of the cards all have different combinations of heads, hats, and flair. Here's the heads, which all look a little similar on purpose. The Yeti has the might of the mountains, the Sasquatch has the wisdom of the woods, and a Bigfoot has the ferocity of the wilderness. These are the hats, which all look like upside-down versions of the heads. The Cowboy hat has the spirit of adventure, the Wizard hat has a spark of magic, and the Abraham Lincoln hat has the power of honesty. And here's the flair, which all resemble one another: a jaunty feather, a lovely flower, and a stylish bow. On the table, there's 2 hats that look like plastic bowls in our prototype, and there's 9 tokens. Each has a head, a hat, or a flair symbol on them. You'll throw 1 token into each hat, and then all at once, everybody flips through their deck 1 card at a time, throwing each card that matches the token in the corresponding hat, throwing the other cards onto the table or the floor or wherever. The player who gets through their deck of cards first will pick up the hat and end the round. Everybody else loses the cards that they didn't throw, and they'll keep all of the cards that they landed in the correct hat, and lose a card that landed in the wrong hat. Then everybody gets 5 of these wild cards to even things out. In round 2, you'll toss a new token into each hat. But don't start Yeti, step 1 big foot back from the table, and squatch what you're doing, because you're doing it again. Only with the cards that you were able to successfully get in the hats in the first round, plus your wild cards. Okay, round 3. You'll take 1 more big step back from the table. You'll just keep the cards you successfully landed in round 2 and choose 2 new tokens to throw into the hats. Whoever lands the most cards in the hats correctly in round 3 wins. So the first round is wild and frantic as you blast through tons and tons of cards. The last round is deft and deliberate as you make laser-precise throws of the cards you've got left. The middle round, it's good too. You have to look fast because the heads, hats, and flair all look kind of similar. You have to think fast because wrong throws lose you cards. You have to act fast because the faster you throw, the more cards you'll make. It's non-stop throwing and thinking and cards and hats, and I know we've had a lot of fun here, but when it all comes down to it, all you have to do is answer one simple question: this or the hat?